Hello. Uh, this is going to be the second episode of me attempting to draw. In the last episode, I did some fruits with some reference pictures, and I thought they turned out all right for a first try. So I'm going to be drawing again from reference today, but I decided to go with something that's not a fruit. So I chose a cowboy hat as the subject for this one. So I'm going to have a picture of the cowboy hat on on the screen. So whoops. All right. So this cowboy hat that I chose in particular is kind of like a lighter brown with dark brim on it and a black band that goes across the part that actually holds your head. So I guess I'm just gonna go for it. It seems like there's a little bit of shading around the right side of the on the right side of the brim. So I'm gonna try to capture that as best as I can. And it seems like there's a little bit of a lighter portion on the bottom right of the brim and on the top. Wait, so that would be my left side of the brim. So on the, I don't know. So I guess I'm just gonna try to go for it. And also, I did get a new pencil sharpener, so that hopefully that helps me. And I'm not going to be doing mechanical pencil this time around, so maybe. Okay, so I'm gonna. I guess I'll just try to sketch the outline. I'm trying. I may have gotten my pencil too sharp, so whenever I try to lightly lay the lines down, it still kind of looks like I'm heavy handing the lines. I had a lot of fun making the last episode of this as well. And if you hear noise in the background, I'm not the only one home today, so I apologize. I'm trying to stay as light as I can with the outline of this, and I should probably be rough sketching it in first, but I'm trying to learn proportions. It looks like I have this corner down a little bit too low and maybe a little too sharp. I have been trying to practice circles and straighter lines as well in one solid motion. Hopefully I can get a little bit better at that. It looks like it kind of slants down a little bit more than it comes straight down. And maybe I'm going about this approach all wrong too. I've been watching a couple of videos for the past couple of days, and it seems like what most people do is kind of outline. So it would be like a rough shape for like brim, and then I don't know what this part of the hat's called, but or I've seen people do it for faces and bodies. They will do like a circle and then do the jaw line. But and I also did invest in some cheap colored pencils because I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know if I'm going to use them in this episode or not, but maybe I shouldn't start with the band yet. I'll just start with the shape of the hat. I hope this shows up well enough on the camera too. Trying to have not really used the overhead camera for much, so I'm still trying to get the control of that down as well with as far as focusing and picking up. Maybe my lighting's a bit too bright. I'm still trying to Get everything situated. This is definitely more of a, in my opinion, three-dimensional object. You're seeing a lot from a couple different angles, such as the brim and that, compared to the fruit, where it was more like you kind of get it from one angle. But there's like layers to this hat. One of the things that I want to try to accomplish eventually at some point as well is drawing from memory. I think that would be neat to do. I think I might have this side of the brim up too high. I'm trying to stay lighter with my outlines too, so it's not as hard to erase once I try to, if I make a mistake. So okay, I think I see what I'm doing wrong here. I'm going too round with that. It should be there. But I guess I shouldn't strive too much for perfection either while I'm doing this, because I am a beginner. So this part here, I think, is going to be the outline of the brim. Looks like. Try to keep this as even as I possibly can. Try to that looks too thin there. It kind of fades out right around there. We get a different angle on that brim. Trying to have it meet right around here, I think. I also got some music going to try to help me talk a little bit better, keep my mind off of the silence. I kind of boring just drawing in silence, I guess. So I'm listening to something while I do this. I don't know why. Well, I kind of have a reason why I decided to do the cowboy hat too. Is because of a book that I'm currently reading. It's like got a southern western theme to it. It kind of gave me the inspiration for this. Looks like I can come down with this angle now. That looks a bit round compared to the reference picture And also does not seem like it comes down far enough, so come down a little bit lower with it. Try to keep it level with this side. That line looks a little hard. Also kind of trying to look at this geometrically, I guess, would be kind of the word to use. Looks like I'm kind of coming up a little bit too steep with that line, so I'll try to flatten that out a little bit. Meet this about here. Okay. Over this side is where the shading looks like it is. This does not look quite like how I wanted it to, but also this I think could come over this way a little bit more. So kind of come up with it like this. And over this side. Come around. And a little button on this side, it looks like. I'll kind of rough that in. That doesn't look anything like the button. Try to get the sharpened tip of my pencil back. This sharpener's cheap too, so it's not really the greatest at. I guess if you're interested, if you want to see, not a great tip to work with, but best I got. Darker right there. Got a little button right here as well. Now this is where drawing the circles this is where my practice would really shine if I was practicing more, but I would rather be able to get circles in one motion and actually have them look a little bit more circular than this. This doesn't really look that great. I'll do the bottom of this band. kind of interferes with the... And I'll have this part come out. That's the rounded part of the brim. The proportions are not great here, but I'll try getting this to as close as black as I can. I don't know if there's any particular method for this that works the best, but try to get as many angles on the paper as I can to fill it in, not have as many white spots underneath in the gaps. I guess this is more of just a sketch, but and then to try to catch as much of the three-dimensionalism as I can, kind of lightly shade on the side of the button. I guess that's kind of, and then I'll work on this area over here. This seems to be a shaded area. It seems until right around in here it's shaded. Sorry if my hand is blocking this as well. I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but I did get some colored pencils too. Hopefully in the future I can incorporate those into this and make it not as bland. Like just, you know, with just the pencils is not that interesting to me, but it's a start. Alright. Let me see if you can still see that on the camera. Got a little bit of shaded area on this side of the cowboy hat. I can go a little bit darker over here, I believe. Oh, I kind of shaded in my button a little bit too much. And try to get that back. Harden the edges of that button, maybe give it a little bit more shape. And there's a light spot, looks like it would be right around in here on the reference image, so I'll try to lighten that up some. catch a little bit of that reflection off the black band, hopefully. I'm going to try to get this a little darker. Try to keep the edge of this. And it's not a very, very straight line. That's why I'm practicing that. I'll try to definitely darker up here, I believe, than down here, and the lightest up here, where that contour is of the hat. And I'm gonna try to harden up this edge a little bit. And also, by the way, if anybody's interested, I'm listening to August Burns Red. Always heard of them and never really gave them a solid listen, but I like them. Oh, that's too dark. Harden up these edges too, because I don't think I'm not working on the lines anymore. Like I've got them all there already, so I think I'll just try to use what I got. I guess I should have mentioned the album specifically that I'm listening to from August Burns Red is Messengers. And it's not so even, this edge, but try to keep the looks like there's a little bit of a lighter portion right in here, so I'll try as best as I can to capture that as well. So I won't shade there as much. Maybe if I had the proper tool too, like the little some of the videos I was watching, people had it looks like a little paper stick that they use for shading or blending. I think it's more of a blending tool, but unfortunately I do not have one. So working with this. Working with this. Try to get the lightest bit of gray there. Try to capture the kind of maybe throw a little bit of line in there. Just keep it as light as I can, just to kind of try to capture some of the shape a little bit better. There we go, not have it be as hard of a line. I guess I could just leave it like this maybe. Hope this isn't shaking the camera too. Clean up these outside lines a little bit. I guess I'll leave some of these lines in here for a little bit of texture. I don't want this part to be as black as dark as this down here, so I guess I'll just try to keep it lighter with the pencil as much as I can. Shape it with the eraser. There's a little bit of detail too. Like there's some reflective portions on this side, on this part of the brim, and over here, which I really don't know the best way to capture because it's kind of small details for. I mean, I'm not making this cowboy hat huge, but I'm not capturing like the threads and whatnot. I'll try to make this definitely darker because I don't want it to blend too much with this. You know what, I think I realized too, I may have made this part too tall. Either that, or I did not bring this little swoop underneath here up high enough. Well, I guess it's kind of too late to fix that now, I guess, but... I'm not going to color anything in here. I'm just going to try to use a little bit of the graphite that's up here and kind of move it down there with the paper, the rounding. I made this a little too dark, but I can lighten this area up a little bit. Well, not perfect, but I think it's about as good as I'm going to get it, at least for right now. Hopefully it's in focus on the camera, but looks pretty rough in my opinion. There's some proportions that I don't think that I quite got right, like especially over here with the band that goes around the hat. I don't think I captured that as well as I wanted to, but I think with a little bit more practice I can get the dimensions more proper, closer to what I'm looking for. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you stuck around all the way through, I appreciate you. And like I said before, if there's anybody out there that has like any drawing tips, or if drawing is your hobby or even your job, I would like to hear your story. If you leave a comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.